Hello, everyone. It's Thursday again, and today's very special because we are not only going to have Mindy here, but also Melanie Tollison, who is a piano pyramid teacher. And we want to ask her all the good questions. Let me press all the right buttons here. And so we hope that, of course, if you can't watch us later, right now, you'll be able to watch us later and hear all the amazing things that we're going to learn about Melanie. So, Melanie, welcome.
Thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, perfectly. And Melanie I believe you've been a piano pyramid teacher for over a year, correct?
Yeah, this is my second year. Yeah.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about your background, and I don't think I know what state you're in. So share with us, please.
I'll fill you in. Let me know if I leave anything out, if you have any questions. So, well, I'm originally from California, but the Bay Area, not too far from actually where Leah Drake does her studio, but kind of that area in the Bay Area. And then, but I've been in Utah now for 10 years, and I'm really close to Salt Lake. So just south Salt Lake County. So,
okay, wonderful, beautiful. I've never been to Utah, but I've heard it's beautiful.
The mountains are great. So this is my 10th year teaching. I had my last baby a couple years ago and was I guess 3 years ago now, and restructuring everything. And I'd been wanting to do groups. I'd been thinking about group piano for a long time, just trying to figure out all the logistics and how do you just do it. Like I was thinking about it for so long. And I had my last baby, I'm like, you know what, this is going to go for it. I scaled back right after, and then it was like, okay, when we come back, we're going to figure this out. And then Dorla, I heard you talking on Leela Viss's podcast explaining how it worked with the different parts, and this light bulb just went off. Like, that will work. They can all just, and I have a background in band, and thinking back to sixth grade band, where all the students are pretty much thrown into a room anyway. There's different instruments going on. A lot of students have not read music before, and you know what, at the end of the year, you have a concert. And maybe, I know no one really appreciates the fifth grade band concerts, but we start somewhere, and it works. And so when I saw that piano pyramid, you have these different parts, and depending on their level, they get that part, and it all made sense. So having wanted to do group piano for a long time, and finally hearing about your method, I was like, okay, this can work. And especially being able to put I've been teaching a while, so putting some of those students who had been having lessons for a while with brand new students at the same time. And my older students honestly love it too. They feel that leadership, and they kind of like how the other kids are like, oh, I want to play your part someday. And they just have a great time. So
yes, I think as we're talking, number one, Mindy's from Utah, so you have that in common.
Yeah.
Born in California as well, and ended up, but now I'm in Texas.
I noticed we have a few friends in common, Mindy. We'll have to talk about that. The Salt Lake area.
Yeah.
No, people.
Also, I was thinking that as you described band, your experience with band, I'm like, okay, group piano is so much easier.
Right?
Yes.
You're already tuned.
Right. And yes, and you play a note. You're not also training them how to play the instrument. Like, they play a key. So I'm like, okay, I can definitely teach 5 students the same. And plus, teaching piano, a lot of times you're saying the same things over and over. And I think I was in that place after teaching for 5 or 6 years, like, man, I am saying the same things. If I could just be doing this in a group setting. And it's so much more interesting when you can ask them questions and you're interacting, and the energy of the group. And I know I've said this before, but that's my favorite thing, is just the energy when you get these kids together and you teach them a new concept, and maybe some already know and they're excited that they recognize that. And then you have the brand new ones that are like, what's this word? Like, we were teaching them how to find F between the two dots, and they were just like, this is the most amazing thing. Like F, I call it my favorite, no, F favorite, between the two dots. And they just, you know, they were all so excited about that. And I don't think I ever really felt that level of excitement when I taught that in just one-on-one. So you can't beat that energy. It's just so fun.
Yes, yes. I'm going to steal that. F, my favorite. I like that.
You know, and what's that note between the two dots? It's my favorite note. And, you know, if that doesn't get it, then you know you got to work on that a little more.
Right. Quick question for you, Melanie. So you know that Piano Pyramid has this framework, right? Lesson plans are already done for us. We just kind of follow the same thing. But what do you do to kind of infuse your personal touch? Like, how is Piano Pyramid, how do you able to use that and still be true to who you are as a teacher?
Oh, I love that. So there are a couple of things. I do love the structure, and I pretty much stick to I love the theory pages and everything we do. I would say at the very beginning of class, for me, my style, it's really important that they know I care about them as a group, because I feel like when they know I care about them and I'm invested about them, they're also going to care back. They're going to care about piano and care, like, they just know that you're interested and that you care. So we always start out with, well, why they're filling in their little practice bubbles, because they don't always remember during the week. So while they're doing that, I usually have a question of the day. I'll ask them. It's like, sometimes I'll ask, do you like to practice in the morning or the evening? So just a quick question where they can all answer really quick, but also I get a little insight into who they are, or, oh, you like to stay up late, or, oh, you get up early before school. And I think just that little quick, it doesn't have to take a long time, but it gives me a little bit of personal interaction. And, you know, we can just build on that. And I think, yes, teaching piano is great, but also having that little personal relationship with all your students, I think that goes a long way, especially then when they're having a hard time during a lesson, or you know, they're not having the best day ever. You already have that relationship in place, and, you know, you can help kind of make things a little easier for them, if that makes sense.
Totally. So how long are your classes, and how many students do you have in class?
So I do 5 in a class, and sometimes we have a floater. It seems like there's always a so if we do have that 6th student that's visiting, there's always a couple students that are on the same part. So sometimes they'll share a part, but it's pretty flexible. I have or if someone needs to use my piano, but generally I stick to that 5 number. What was the other question you asked? How many?
How long?
Oh, and how long?
Yeah.
So I do an hour. This was kind of an experiment too, just to see how long. So actually the beginners, so I consider my 2nd grade beginners, like in the earlier group, I start them by themselves. Them I do 45 minutes. I feel like that's kind of their max attention span. The first year I tried to do an hour, and that was a little long. So, but generally with the mixed group classes, I do 1 hour. And it probably is, you know, I probably could get it all into 50 minutes. So that's probably what I'd recommend, even anywhere from 50 minutes to an hour. But I really do like having the extra few minutes. I don't feel like we have to rush for transitions, or like I mentioned with the questions, if it was a slightly longer one, I'm okay with us spending a couple extra minutes. So yeah, we have no problem filling a full hour. Oh, sometimes after the ensembles, because I'll usually have, following the framework, you know, so we usually run through a couple different ensembles, and then if we have time at the end, I'll say, are there any favorites? And like yesterday, one of the girls had really been practicing her study in G, or they really wanted to play the bear. So I like leaving that extra few minutes where also the student gets to show, oh, I really love this song. Because when all the other students hear that that one's someone else's favorite song, you know, it's all about fun. I love how the students always just leave being like, oh, it's already time. That was so fun. And they're all smiles when they go back to their parents. And so it's just so enjoyable.
So how do you handle performing in your studio?
We're still figuring that out too. So for now, do you mean like, so, well, a couple things. As far as performing within the class, sometimes I do give those that are really good practicers, they have their challenge piece. So sometimes I'll save a few minutes at the end of class if they want to perform for our little class. They have little badges they can check off. So that's one of their badges, play a song for the class. So we perform on that level for the class, but then I also do 2 recitals a year in December. Tried something fun this past December. They did get to choose a solo piece. We did Christmas music, and then we did duos and trios. And that was, we were able to use some of the piano pyramid. Oh, I'm trying to think now. Which ones did we do? Oh, they have so many favorites now, but we definitely did Carol of the Bells, and then the one I know from book 1 that has the mixed parts in there. Anyway, so we did kind of a mixture of solos and trios. But the spring one, this is what I did last spring, and we're definitely doing it again this spring. I'll also let them choose one of their solo pieces to work on, but then each class will do 2 of the piano pyramid arrangements out of the book, which is great because we've been working on those arrangements all year. So, you know, in December, it's always kind of that stress of, well, we've only been working on these songs a couple months and they don't, you know, you kind of make it work. But I love the spring recital because we've been working on these arrangements. So, you know what, that class plays arrangement. They play Luna and the Bear really well, so they get to do these 2 songs. And so each class gets to do a couple of the piano pyramid. So it is a little work hauling the pianos and doing the whole setup thing, but the parents love it. The kids love it. Also, I loved in the recital, I didn't expect this, but because the other students had been playing the other arrangements that the songs were playing, they were so into it. They were on the edge of their seats. Like the volcano, you know, the ones that didn't play it, they were watching the other students playing and got to hear how neat it sounded with all the parts. And so that was fun too. You know, I think there's been several unexpected things when going into the recital, and, you know, so anyway, I've just really been enjoying Piano Pyramid. I think, yeah, I'll just keep using it forever. So.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Keep making harder parts so that we can. So honestly, so I will say this is one thing too, is I was at first a little nervous because I have students that are kind of getting to the edge of that 4th part. But you know what? I feel like I definitely still keep that. One, they're kind of the leader in the group too. So, and they have a good sense of rhythm, but they'll be the one that's counting us off. Or sometimes I'll say just add octaves in your left hand or try taking that up, or we'll go a little faster. So there's definitely ways to still challenge them. It's not like they top out at the pianist 4, you know, or say, try it with these chords, or what chord is it? You know, there's always ways to, so I don't feel like she's gonna, or any of my advanced ones will really hit the ceiling anytime soon, if that makes sense.
Yeah. You mentioned rhythm, and I wanted to ask you, how do you infuse your way of teaching rhythm into Piano Pyramid? Because on purpose, I did not have a certain way. I mean, you can tell that I use numerical because in the theory pages you see that. But what do you do to make a rhythm a part of the lesson, since I don't mention in there how to do it specifically, because I really want the teachers to do it their own way.
Yeah. We do a lot of, well, counting out loud, but also when we're doing the theory page and we first open it up and they're numbering all the measures, I try to find the trickiest rhythm or what's different, or just take a line and write in the counts. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So I want them to write it in. And then a lot of times when we're at the pianos, before we even play it, maybe I'll play the fourth part, or we'll listen to it and I'll have them just count out loud, because that counting is so important, especially in group. But I love that they really do improve. I think it's the same thing, you know, going back to the band analogy and how it's similar. You have to count. So they realize it's important. And but also we having a time for a game, or a game that's really theory at the end. We do a lot of counting stuff in that too. We do some of the cup tapping, and you've probably seen some of those, but counting, yeah, with the rhythm, yeah. So
nice. I love that.
Yeah.
Mindy, you have any more questions?
No.
Oh, because I saw you had a list there. I was like, ooh.
Well, I just asked them. So
Huh? Oh, okay.
Well, I
but
mean, I could go on forever why it's my favorite. I won't keep everyone here, but it's been so fun. Another thing when I was initially trying to figure out how it would all work, and one thing that's really helped in coming together, and maybe this is obvious, but when I set up a binder, because the piano pyramid having the digital ones, each student has their own binder. So I did have different sections with the ensembles, and then I put the scales on their own tab. So we'll do some warm up with scales, and then the theory pages separate. And then we also have a tab for the awards where they earn their sticker badges. But I think that's really helped to kind of streamline things. So I'll say, okay, ensembles. So we'll go to your red tab, number 5, especially when you get to the younger ones where where are we? So your orange tab, we're in theory. Your blue tab, we're doing the warm-ups. So that can help too when I got a handle on how to organize the music.
Yes.
For each of their binders. I'm trying to think of it.
Well, I was going to ask you, have you seen the students develop independently within the group? Because, you know, they're together for that hour. Are they still depending on you for everything, or do you see a difference? Do you see any growth there?
I love that. So the interesting thing is I do see them developing independently, and some of them really do take their practice to the next levels. And another great thing with the piano pyramid is I can just give them the next part. So I had this one student, and she just practiced so hard. She was my best little practicer. And so she was ready to move on to the pianist too. And so I didn't have to wait the whole school year to give her the next book. I just took the ensembles and put those in her binder. So, and it is amazing how they are able to all, when I'm going around the room and checking, you know, and talking about technique and different things, they are really able to learn and do these things independently. At the same time, they do know when to ask a question. None of them seem shy about asking questions or what they need help with. And but it's great to see growth in both areas. Even though you're teaching as a group, they're still really progressing. And I like to have an extra in their binder too, some challenge pieces if they are really progressing, or like for the recital or something they're going to be playing on their own. And maybe spending a few minutes to, if we have class time, to do that. But yeah, I'd say they're definitely developing independently as well as a group, which is, it's a unique skill set too, to be able to play with others and count and listen and everything else. You're not just learning how to play the piano. So that's so fun. I love that for them.
How much time do your students spend with headphones on?
Probably about 10 minutes.
Okay.
I try not to keep it more than 10 minutes. So at the beginning, we have our sit together time where they're filling in their practice bubbles, and I'm asking them a little question. And then that's usually also where we do the theory. So they're already sitting, they're sitting on the carpet. So that's where we usually do the theory pages. They can open it up. They can look at their song, number the measures, do the put in the counting, the count the rhythms, and then we'll go over to the pianos. I'll usually write on the board that says our warm up, we're doing G scale, you know, whatever scale we're doing, and then these are the ensembles. So when they go over to the pianos, they have their headphones on, they spend 10 minutes playing through those pieces. If they're sounding great, then I tell them they can go ahead to the next one, or they can review what they just did, try to play it faster. You know, there's always ways with the scales you can add, finish going up, you can add. So there's always, it doesn't seem like there's any shortage of things for them to fill that 10 minutes with on their headphones.
Okay.
So
perfect. Yeah. Well, Melanie, it's been so great to hear how you are using Piano Pyramid. And I'm so proud that you are one of our Piano Pyramid teachers, and also that you were willing to come on here and share. You know, Piano Pyramid has been around not for a long time. So as the years go by, we will have, of course, more teachers, but I know that as teachers, we always learn from listening to others and how do you do it and what are you changing. And I love that you've infused your personality and your way of teaching while keeping that framework that makes it work for multi-level group piano. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. It's really an honor to talk to you. And Mindy, I mean, we play your music every week, and I feel like I'm a superstar here. So you guys are great. I don't know how, you know, I just feel blessed that we found this great method, and thank you for all you guys do, keeping it fun.
You are very welcome. All righty then. We'll see everyone, you know, next Thursday. And thank you again, Melanie, for your time.
Of course.
And we'll see everybody next time. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.